Hello, my name is Joseph Knockhart, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on why freedom of information should be more easily accessible. If the government has the ability to stand in the way of what we do and do not know, to me, that's a big issue, and we're going to be going over that today. So, to start off, we have to actually recognize the controversy of the Freedom of Information Act of 1966. Basically, the government passed the act that said, you know what, taxpayers get to know what we're doing with their money, and that's great. It should be like that. However, it was written in such a weird way to that the government gets to determine whether or not you as an individual deserve to know what's going on. If you know exactly what's going on and you make the request, you can get it. But if you don't make that request, if you don't know exactly what's going on, you don't get to know the information. Again, if you want to know what's happening, that's your right until the government says, you know what, we don't think it is. And that to me is something that's not okay. How the government can withhold information from you. Due to the fine print in the Freedom of Information Act of 1966, to have something revealed, you must know specifically what to ask for. So if you want to know about a plane crash that happened 3 years ago, you know what? You have to know exactly where it crashed, all the details about it, to even get a chance of it being requested and accepted. And honestly, that's not okay. Because if they determine whether or not you as an individual deserve to know, where do you draw the line? What more can they interfere with on rights? We didn't get to vote on these restrictive powers on ourselves. How do they get to be enacted? I do not know. The act allows the government to have the final say in what is revealed. So the government gets to say, you know what, I don't want to reveal this to the public, therefore they don't get to know, which is a major, major trust issue. How to make the Freedom of Information Act truly free. You don't have to know exactly what you're looking for to gain access. That would solve a major issue with that. If you want to know something, you should be able to know it. And you might wonder, well, that's a national security threat. If you don't know what it is and everything's just out there, wouldn't that be a red flag and cause problems? And you know what? I would say you're right. However, get rid of unnecessary exemptions other than for the military, FBI, and CIA. Because if you have those under wraps still, I don't think anyone's going to be that mad about it. If it's an ongoing investigation that you don't want released yet, you know what? Don't release it. But the moment it's done, it should be released and it should be given to the public again. And military records, I understand those should remain secret. The why factor. If we allow our government to control what we know regarding their affairs, how can we really know what's the truth and what isn't the truth? If you have a distrust of the government, that can be very, very scary. You don't want to distrust the government because whenever you have that happen, you can see people that distrust social services. Some kids do not trust police officers because they've experienced a lot of injustice. And because of that, the government on that aspect is not very trusted. And if this part of the government's untrusted, it creates a lot of distrust and a lot of tension between the public and the actual governing body. So to wrap it all up, I can conclude that the true freedom for information in our government is crucial. Having the full truth is always crucial. We discussed how the government can withhold information from you, what we can do to make it better, and why it's important to know about this. And with that, thank you so much for listening to this presentation.